So if I could have your attention again, I've introduced all of you to Congressman Bruce Braley from Iowa, who is running for the Senate and is one of the best congressmen I've ever met. He's on the Senate Commerce Committee, House Commerce Committee, hopefully to be the Senate Commerce Committee. And he has done wonders helping to preserve the civil justice system. And he is a fierce advocate because he used to be a trial lawyer himself. And so when people come up and testify before his committee, he cross-examines them as though that they were in a deposition. And most of them are totally ill-prepared for this, and they walk away, you know, sort of cowering and happy to be off the stand, so to speak. So I do want to introduce you to him officially, and I also want to have Melinda and Scott Harper come up and do this with us. Would come up. So the congressman is a very, wherever he is, here. You got to get in the picture here. Is a very, very special person, and I think that the Harpers are going to help present this award to him.
We appreciate your support up to this point, and wish you the best in moving into the Senate and continuing the good work that we've done. So thank you very much.
So let's read what it says. So what it says is, this is a Truck Safety Leadership Award to the Honorable Bruce Braley. Every hour, lives are saved thanks to your work. In more than just this context, by the way.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Well, as a former truck driver, I accept this award in the name of Matt Coolish and his parents, Don and Linda Coolish. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to receive this from the two of you. Let me tell you about Matt Coolish. He had just gotten a degree in psychology, and he was looking forward to becoming a clinical psychologist. He left his parents' home in rural Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and went on a bike ride on a beautiful spring day. And he was riding up a hill on a county road. A truck left Cedar Rapids on its way to Texas. And as it came upon him, the truck driver decided that he was going to pass this young man on a bicycle on an uphill incline with a double yellow line. And in the middle of his passing maneuver, a car popped over the hill, and the truck driver promptly swerved to the right, hit Matt's bicycle, according to eyewitnesses, knocked him 20 feet in the air, and the truck driver continued down the road. There was a second driver in that truck who was deadheading back to Texas, and he turned to the driver because he'd been looking in the outside mirror and had seen this happen and said, "I think you hit that kid on the bike. You need to turn around." And the driver responded, "No, I didn't," and kept driving. He drove all the way to Homestead, Iowa, where the actor Ashton Kutcher grew up, and then inexplicably turned the truck around and headed back to the accident scene. As they drove through the accident scene, emergency responders were administering to a young man on the side of the road, and again the driver refused to stop the truck despite urging from the co-driver. He drove back to the terminal, got out of the truck, walked in, threw his keys on the dispatcher's desk, and started to leave. The co-driver immediately told the dispatcher what had happened. They wrestled him to the ground and took him into a back room where he stayed until Highway Patrol investigators arrived. By that time, he was non-communicative. He was curled up in the fetal position, and they took him to a psychiatric ward at St. Luke's Hospital in Cedar Rapids. I got the driver qualification file and found out that he had a record a mile long, that every single person who was asked to evaluate him as a rehire because he'd worked for this company before answered no. But because of a driver shortage, the trucking safety director decided to give him a job offer, and that's how this horrific accident happened. Because it happened right at the intersection of 4 counties and was in a small rural county, they only charged the driver with leaving the scene of an accident. And the county attorney did not have the resources to bring the most critical witness, the passenger in that truck, back for the criminal trial. So my clients paid for him to fly back from Dallas and testify at trial. The inexperienced county attorney knew so little about trying cases, he was unable to get a single item of evidence admitted at trial. During a break in the testimony, my clients and I drug him out in the hallway, and I tried to give him a brief primer on how to admit exhibits into evidence. It was one of the most outrageous things I'd ever experienced in my life, and fortunately, the jury found enough evidence from the testimony of the witnesses who were there to convict him of leaving the scene of the accident, which carried hardly any criminal sanction. So when I come to Congress to talk about protecting people on truck safety issues, I don't come in a vacuum. I don't come to talk about some abstract policy. I come to remember the people that I knew and had the privilege of representing, people just like many of you in this room who found themselves in circumstances beyond their control where people did not pay attention to the necessary safety requirements to protect the public. That's why the work you do matters. That's why I'm so honored and proud to receive this award, and that's why we cannot give up this fight. Thank you very much.